Hey guys, Kluya here. We are back. Had to take a short break from our last recording. We just defeated Rubicante. We recruited Edge into our party. And afterwards, we fell into a trap, like a pitfall, which eventually led us to getting the second airship, the Falcon. But unfortunately, the Falcon cannot fly over lava. So we are going back to the king to see if he can help us. So we had bad news for the king because we weren't able to get the crystals back. But with that, he turns to his daughter Luca and says, "We need the key that is around your neck in order to gain access to the sealed cave." We're going to take a little quick detour here. Whoops. I always go that way on accident. We go to the infirmary and we see our buddy Sid laying here. Looks like he didn't die after all, which is great. So Edge and Sid introduce themselves to each other, which of course it doesn't seem to get along with a lot of the characters, so they start squabbling. So Cecil tells Sid that they have defeated all of Golbez's archfiends, but unfortunately they did not get the crystals. There's kind of a problem because they can't fly over the lava in the underground, but Sid says, leave it to me, we'll take care of that. The dwarf nurses start freaking out because Sid's doing backflips. And with that, we're gonna upgrade the airship. The Falcon. Now, it plays that really sad music, like he just died or something, but he just goes back to sleep. And with that, we are ready to continue. Now, being able to fly over the lava does give us access to a couple of new areas. First place we're gonna go is not there, but there is a dwarven settlement down here, and there is some treasure we can loot here. It's a big old room full of stuff. Wow, a customer, that's right. Guess they don't get too many visitors. There is diamond gear here, which is pretty nice. It all goes for a pretty penny though, but it's been a while since we've geared up the casters and such, so let's get them some goods. Need 2 of these, 3 of these, and then 2 of pretty much all these. Oh, looks like we gotta sell a bunch of stuff first. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The inventory in this game is pretty. I mean, it adds up really fast. So we are going to get Rydia and Rose's gear on first. There it is. So let's sell this. If he decides he wants to come back down. Cure ones. And get rid rid of. There's actually a bunch of arrows we don't need. Never going to use the elemental arrows for the remainder of the game. Let's get rid of these thunder claws. See the ogre one, yeah, 22,500 is pretty dang nice. Drain sword, we'll hang on to that for now. Great bow, and that should free up some space. Right, so we need 2 of these. So unfortunately, we gotta try to do this as fast as I can. We'll get all this gear managed out. Diamond. I think I forgot to give Cecil his diamond shield. Let's see. Yeah, he still had the ice shield on. And again, this is where like grinding pays off because you have that gill. Should be good to go now. Let's see, we're at like almost 144,000 gil. Okay. Let's sort this out. Freed up a bunch of space, and now it's good you got the weapons. Let's see. Got a chain for Rydia now. I'm gonna buy the middle, but I don't remember. Pretty sure he put it in his offhand. I think it's the long sword. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Sell the whip. And I think we're good to go. Item shop real quick. There's the naming way. Now we don't need anything from here. So we're gonna hop back in here. We're gonna go to the other tiny little actually I think it's just the blacksmith. Kokol the smiths. Now this is the vendor I brought up earlier. Actually, he's not quote active right now. You have to do a quest, but he sells a lot of the shurikens and I think the tack stars for Edge. So the blacksmith says I'm not going to make another sword. I can't even find the legendary or adamant, which kind of gives you the hint, hey, like he's looking for this ore, and to make a legendary sword, you're gonna have to find that. So with that, we are going to venture forth. So here's the Sylph Cave. In here, there is a path, you go through it, and it leads to a house which has the Sylph monster, or the Sylph summon inside. But that is not what we're looking for right now. Right now we are looking for the Summoner Cave. This is the Sealed Cave, which is kind of where you want to go to progress the story, but for now, let's venture forth into here. Actually, we're going to go outside, we're going to save it real quick. Now, something that is imperative, unless you want to have a really annoying time, you want Rosa to know float. And the reason is these highlighted tiles that are scattered throughout, if you do not have the buff float on, you will take massive damage as you are making your way through this dungeon. So Rydia says, I came here on my way from the land of summoned monsters. We should go here to ask for help. Now, as with the theme of being the land of summoned monsters, there are enemies that are summoners themselves. Let's see if this is an upgrade. I thought it was a huge upgrade, and I don't remember these guys dropping a silent staff, so that's pretty handy. So Rydia learned Strain. Sorry. So every time you exit a floor and you go through a door, you have to reapply this buff, which gets kind of annoying. But it is what it is. These guys can kind of be pretty annoying with all the charming going on, but we should be okay. So Edge grabs a level. Let's get everyone back to speed. I always thought it was cool, you can see like the floors below and stuff like that. So we make it to the third floor, we're going to reapply float. Now below here you can kind of see like a city landscape coming out. I'm gonna skip out this 4 fiends so we don't get charm spammed. Got a poison axe and a ninja sword called Ninja. And with that, we are in the Summoner Village. Now, normally you come here, there's some cool items you can get for Rydia. You can also get the Leviathan and Asura summons. However, that is not why we are here. We are here for this item right down here. By the way, that gets a little odd. On your first approach, you cannot get that chest just by walking down here. You have to go through here, this little portal way, go back into the portal way, and immediately hit down so you can access this chest, which gets us the iconic rat tail. And this is an item that is required to get the adamant ore once we have access to... once we can leave the underground. Just go back in. Wanted to hit up the item shop, which I should have remembered. There were items here for, I believe, Rosa and Iridia, so I shouldn't have upgraded them so fast. But that just kind of happens. Yeah, there's the Aegis Shield, which is great against magic attacks, and then there's the Sorcerer. So actually, we're going to pick up one of these, and we'll pick up two of these. Yeah, it was kind of a waste of gil, but we can afford it. Actually, I don't think we got body pieces for them at the last shop, so that worked out. Oh, alright, that worked out perfectly. And the Aegis Shield. I like that all the NPCs are monsters. They kind of have like a good sense of humor here if you interact with them. Now, 47,000 gil for that poison axe, so it's definitely a good idea to come grab that. Let's go to the weapon shop. Should be a chain here, or the Blitz Whip. Actually, let's see. Longsword, get the Blitz Whip, and a Lunar Staff. I'm trying to remember, I do think there is a difference between which hand is in, which weapon is in the right hand. So this is 55, which brings it to 120. Nope, same thing either way. So that works out. And let's give her her upgraded chain whip, the Blitz. Oh, went a little too fast. So we are going to use the tent. Let's save it. I believe there are some treasure chests below, as we can see. Don't need the N. Nope. And nothing here. Trying to find that other gateway. This leads to the library, which if you go downstairs, leads to the King and Queen of the Summons. And these books here all talk about the different summons, where they come from, their weaknesses and their strengths. It's pretty interesting to go through if you have time. I'm kind of wasting time here, but I'm trying to... Let me see. Alright, well with that we can head out. we will cast an exit spell to kind of make that painless. Now again, you can also get another rat tail from this cave, and it also leads to getting Sylph, but we do not want to do that right now. We want to knock out this sealed cave. So we will save it. So it says hold the key and the way will open. We have the Luca key. This place kind of reminds me of the Dark Elf Cave, kind of the same layout. Fortunately, there is no magnetic seal, so we can kind of do as we please with our equipment. The monsters here do get a little bit harder, but the biggest thing about this place are the trapdoors. Trapdoors aren't that deadly as far as like melee damage or whatever, but if you don't kill them quick enough, they start doing an attack which just instantly kills any character, and they can also transform into another monster. Excuse me. They do give a ton of XP though, if you can kill them before they transform. So since it's searched for Rosa right there, she is the target. And with, like, just like that. So there you go. I think it's a mana cord. Yeah. So let's get Rosa back up. And yeah, it's a kind of an annoying thing that this dungeon throws at you, but you just deal with it. And usually going through any passageway that has a trapdoor has treasure behind it. I think the ninja sword is better. Yep. These guys really don't do too much damage. They do apply a kind of like a poison effect to you, although you aren't technically poisoned. Like you can't use the heal line or anything, but they go down easy enough. Alright, trapdoor. Typically I do virus because it's like one of the fastest spells in the game. That lifestyle, there it is. So like I said, they're not difficult, they're just annoying. There we go. Well, that was a doozy, but at least we got some XP out of that. Will be nice when Rosa... I mean, her Cure 3 is definitely packing a punch, but it'll be nice when she gets Cure 4. Now, I believe if it targets Kane, which it just did right there, and we jump, I think he does it again. Yeah, I mean, he just follows through with it, so... Which would be typical of Kane to screw over Cecil like that. Two doozies. Actually, we can use some of Cecil's MP to help him get back up. Although his healing is pretty weak, but might as well use it. Oops, wrong way. A little too quick there. There's like 4 trapdoors here. Try to plow through these really fast. Also, I think it's like when she's in like the late 40 levels, Rosa does get a holy elemental nuke, which is incredibly strong. Now, to be honest, normally I would skip these, but Edge needs all the XP he can get so he doesn't get beat up constantly. So. As soon as I say that, Edge gets one-shotted. Well, anyone would have got one-shotted, but still. But we do want to get him up so that he gets XP. Blaze is probably going to need to take him out, so let's get him back up. Got the light elemental sword for Cecil. I honestly wish I can remember the names of the correct translations for some of this gear, because it's like if it's a holy sword, it's called light. If it's, you know, just straight to the point, but not the real names. Alright, so we gotta strike first. We're gonna take care of these guys real fast. It's always interesting when you walk around here, if an enemy encounter happens, all the doors briefly open. Got a yellow dragon. Which unfortunately, all the dragons tend to do like a huge AoE nuke. Edge learns smoke, which makes your party run away from a fight. So let's actually getting kind of low on MP. Oh, she learned Cure 4, which is really good. Got a Ninja Star, an Elixir, which is fantastic, and 5 grand gil. Alright, so a whole bunch of, yeah, let's plow through the rest of these. as I said, kind of tedious, but just they're not that difficult, and with the amount of XP that you get for your time is definitely worth it. And the treasure behind it that you can sell off when there is treasure. Now, I don't think it's a time thing as much as if the trapdoor gets to like critical health, it will turn into a monster. And we got a save point. So we actually haven't used a cabin yet, so let's pop out one of these. Now let's save it. Should be our last trapdoor, at least for this room. Let's try to get a virus out before she gets nuked. Do a preemptive life so that you can get her right back up. She's hitting for almost 2k now with that virus. And Rydia gets her first tier 3 spell, which is ice. That's fantastic. Got the ninja helm for edge. Kinda need an upgrade for a helmet for a bit. Actually, that was pretty strange. It looked like his damage went down. Damage went down, but his defense went up. Yeah, he needs the defense. That we are finally clear of this room, and we are pressing on. Trapdoor, what do you know? Spoke too soon. It's probably gonna blaze and take edge out, but let's see if we can get a virus off really fast. Nope. Kinda odd that they drop fire arrows of all things, but you can just sell those later. Finally got to that room. Kane got a nice critical hit in there to take care of that door. Yeah, a lot of menu navigating, unfortunately, for this part. So I do apologize. I'm gonna take this rope down. I do believe there's another save point coming up soon. Just so we can get all our MP back and all that good stuff. Oh. Up, down. Oh, here's a save point. Let's pop a tent. Looks like we got through that room with no encounters. Which brings us to this bridge. And the last trapdoor of the dungeon. So the crystal room is in here, with the last of the dark crystals. Easy peasy. Maybe a little too easy peasy as we find out that there was a trap waiting for us. They notice the wall is moving and closing in on them, and Kane says they set the trap up to guard the crystal. Now this boss used to scare the garbage out of me as a kid, but the big thing with this fight is all about speed. So in typical boss fashion, actually we're going to throw some swords we've been hanging on to. Rosa will berserk Cecil. Kane will jump. Rydia will spam Virus. It might be tempting to use summons like Titan, which do a lot of damage, but Virus is just very consistent on how fast it is and how much damage it does. Throw Shuriken at it. Now, for Kane, we are going to heal up Rydia so she doesn't petrify. Yeah, this music doesn't really help to the suspense as well. Now, if he gets close enough, he will just start collapsing on top of the characters one by one, which he does very quickly, and it instantly kills them. Cecil hitting on average for about 1900 now with the Berserk. It's just got a couple of nice crits in there. You can tell the crit because the screen flashes yellow. And there we go. 8,000 gil, 4,600 XP. A petty trap, yeah, it's a little more than petty, but with that, it is time to leave. Now, it took a while to get here, but because there's no more trapdoors, it's much faster. And we would cast exit, but there is a reason you can't just exit, the game won't let you, and that is because there is a cutscene or story interaction that occurs. So let's save it. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, this was the room that took forever, but it's nice to be able to just get right through. I think this was just a treasure room. Yep, it was. I believe this is the entrance. Now, we're going to rinse and repeat that strategy we've used a few times. We are going to de-equip or de-equip Kane's gear because we are about to lose him, unfortunately. This reminds me of the new Opus 6 hero lightning card, which is Kane, and basically the card says that when a dark character shows up, Kane switches sides, and the music doesn't tell enough. It's Golbez saying he arrives, even in just like a psychic state or something, and says it's time to return, come back with the crystal. That, Kane backstabs us again, steals the dark crystal, and bolts on out. So Golbez says now with the last crystal, the Tower of Babel will be reactivated, and the way to the moon will open. And we head out. Once we get into the airship, I'm pretty sure now with the tower activated, it's gonna be glowing. Yes, it is. It's all powered up, and we need to return to the king. So yet again, we are gonna have some bad news for the king. He says now that they have all the crystals, we are finished unless the legend of the big whale comes true, which we haven't heard of before. He says a huge ship spoken of in legend, it says one to be born from, which is the Mystidia legend we got when we first met Porum and Palom. So to them, the town of Mystidia is like this ancient, like, you know, legendary village, but Cecil says no, it's right on the upper world. So earlier when we left, the village elder of Mystidia said they'd be praying for us and this and that, but the king says he must be trying to call the big whale. We need to hurry there, which we can't do because when Sid set off the explosion earlier, it collapsed the underground. So here comes the bearded guy himself, and he says he's got a solution to digging us out. He's going to attach a drill to the head of the Falcon. that, we get some more upgrades done, except this time, this kind of makes it so that you don't ever use the Enterprise anymore, because you don't really need the hovercraft. So in between work, you see Edge flirting with Rydia, Sid's losing his mind, dwarves are dancing. But yet again, Sid overdoes it and he needs to take a break. But with that, we now have a way to get above ground. So the journey now leads us to go to Mysidia. We're gonna dig our way out. Now, we're supposed to go to Mysidia, but we're actually gonna make a stop elsewhere first. There is a string of islands we need to visit. And it's right here. South of Fabul. And just as I said we don't need the hovercraft anymore, we actually need the hovercraft right now. So we're gonna go to Eblin. If I can find it. Actually, it's probably the Falcon we don't need anymore once we got out of the cave. So we're gonna pick this up, and now we're gonna find those islands. So you have all these rocks here, which kind of indicates obviously that you need the hovercraft, so we're going to park the hovercraft here, airship right next to it, hop in. We're going to go to this cave. It's called the Grotto Adamant. So when you talk to them, the guy in blue says, "I don't want to talk to you unless you have a tail for me." That is why we picked up the rat tail earlier. And he says, "It's a rat tail I've been looking for. Take the ore." So that's how you get the adamant ore. And with that, he sends us off. Actually have to go back underground real quick, and we're going to continue that quest for the blacksmith. Oh, there we go. Now that we have the ore, we can present it. He says, "A token of my gratitude for the ore, I'll make your old sword into a great one." The sword he is referring to is the original sword you got when you became a paladin. So he says, all he'll say is come back later, and you can wait here for like 20 years if you want, it doesn't matter. You need to do some of the story in order to progress enough for later to occur. In that, we need to go to Mysidia and have the story progress from there. Or progress. So we're gonna fly back up. Swap airships just because I want to see the drill go crazy. Black Chocobo still hanging out down there. tent. Save. And we're gonna head back into Mysidia. Now before we even step inside, the Elder says, "We've been waiting for you, come to the Tower of Wishes." And then we have the Mysidian legend, which we've seen a few times. One to be born from a dragon, hoisting the light in the dark, arises high up to the sky, to the still land. Veiling the moon with the light of eternity, it brings another promise to Mother Earth with a bounty and a mercy. So you can see a whole bunch of mages in here, and the Elder says, "Wish everyone the legend shall come alive now." So they all start praying. And with that, something miraculous happens as the screen flashes. This giant whirlpool opens up, as you can see. With that, we get access to a giant great whale spaceship, which is something you probably wouldn't expect. But it is a ship that was crafted from the moon. So the Elder says, "While wishing, I heard a voice calling you to come to the moon. Someone awaits us there." So basically, you can use the big whale as a just like a normal airship. You cannot go to the underground with it, I don't believe. But the big thing is that it can travel to the moon. It also has a fat chocobo inside, and it also you don't have to use an inn or tents anymore. If you have access to that, you can just go inside and use it. So we touch the crystal, and we literally go to outer space and go to the moon. Now once we get here, you're kind of on your own to kind of go explore. The monsters are pretty strong here, so it's a great place to grind. We have Bahamut's lair here. There is a really cool cave that has a ton of naming ways inside, to which you can get the whistle, which summons the naming way. But our destination is this crystal palace right here. It would be nice if we could just land here and go there, but it does not work like that. We have to park, just get this right, up here, and you have to go through a couple of cave systems. So, going to the moon, we are going to take a break here, and on our next episode we are going to make our way towards the Crystal Palace and figure out who is summoning us on our journey. So, thanks for watching. You can expect the next video very soon, and take care.